But you guys are coming here saying that Long John Silver's, Arby's, and Panda Express are the best. When I've been telling you guys that European food is poo-poo dog shit crazy gloop 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 scoop galore, especially the Northern Europeans, I'm not lying.
This is large fries in America. This is large fries in England.
You know you're not in the US anymore. I'm back in Canada. This is a large wing.
I'm gonna sit this right here. All right, baby. There we go.
What is this?
Your pancakes you ordered.
I ordered one pancake.
That's one pancake.
This is one pancake?
Yeah, welcome to America. You know, I used to be little like you.
All right, so first, mozzarella.
È buonissimo!
How do you feel? It's like a nursing home food. Lamb, exactly. I'm sorry, no offense against anybody in the nursing home, but this is typically.
They crossed the Atlantic in search of dreams and boisterous audiences. But as these European fans stepped off the plane and ate their first meal at home, something wasn't quite right. There was silence after only one bite. In midair, forks froze, faces twisted in disbelief.
I've got to say, visiting the USA actually ruined food for me completely. Now that I'm back in England, I'm missing tacos so much. I'm missing barbecue food. I'm missing the ranch.
More than watching a European react to American food. My dad's best friend is in town from Barcelona, and we went to a local bar and pub. He got a burrito. This man's reaction to the size of a burrito, which was a pretty average American burrito, he was like, this is 3 meals.
Show something to you guys real quick, because this is insane. Look at the size of this burrito. This is the type of stuff that a European and a British mind cannot comprehend. It's the size of my head. It is like a little baby. How am I gonna eat this? How?
Everywhere that I've been in Europe, I've ordered an appetizer, an entree, another entree, because I want to try everything. And they always tell me, no matter what country I'm in, are you sure you want that? Are you sure you're gonna?
After weeks of America's powerful flavors and copious quantity, Europe's beloved classics tasted different. The table trembled with dismay. Had their color schemes changed forever? Or had they simply discovered something about home that nobody was ready to acknowledge?
Confusing, because that doesn't look like a biscuit, and that doesn't look like gravy, but we'll give it a go. Let's try it. Okay. It's definitely not why.
Please tell me y'all been tuning into the Europeans being over here and trying American food for the very first time while attending the World Cup.
Oh my days. Get in!
The burrito, guys. I want the prawns. Chipotle. Holy, $12, man. You can get a whole fucking burrito. It's incredible. Like, it's awesome. Chipotle's brilliant. Like, I'm a big fan of Chipotle. Yeah.
Welcome to the States. Thank you so much.
As soon as European supporters left the airport after spending weeks in America for the World Cup, their bellies began to growl with anticipation of a filling dinner at home. They had gorged themselves on massive burgers, an endless supply of fries, and an endless supply of sodas at stadiums and roadside restaurants across the United States during the tournament, where amounts arrived like little mountains on platters and prices were so low they felt almost unlawful.
Italy, and I am not impressed with the food. Don't be meat right in there, gelato, bro. Ice cream in the States is way better. Switzerland, I've been to France, I've been to Paris, and now I'm currently in Italy, touring 3 cities, and yeah, I'm just not impressed with European food. I don't know, maybe I'm spoiled and I've had the best of the best in the States and I haven't had the best and the best in Europe. Being said.
Who is this? What kind of influential business is this for?
Now I've heard that England is the best country in the world for food. Said nobody ever. But as a fellow British man, I'm here to change the narrative on English food because today we're going to be trying some viral British foods. Currently in Camden, because I think that's the heart of London. We should move. Not too much to say. Taste how it looks. One word to describe it, how the British would describe things. That is huck.
As soon as they sat down at a cafe they knew from their time in Europe, reality hit them like a slow-moving freight train. The server placed small dishes in front of them that seemed more like decorative samples than whole meals, and their eyes opened in utter disbelief at the prices on the menu.
So when in Europe, make sure that when you're ordering grilled cheese, that it's not just a block of cheese, because this was a block of cheese. It wasn't the grilled cheese that we're used to in America.
I'm vegetarian for the next 20 minutes.
Ordered sliders? Like, what is this little one bite face ass slider?
Look at it. Whoa.
This is how amazing Americans are, right? Can you imagine flying two Americans to London, right? It's on us, and they bought homemade cake.
Wow, that looks incredible.
Like, American hospitality is the best thing.
It
I'm
never
sorry.
ends.
Their European cuisine was seen with genuine confusion by the same audience who had ridiculed American luxury during the competition. What would have been a $5 side dish in the US cost over 20 euros, and a simple pasta supper that used to feel homey was suddenly reduced to a small handful of noodles swimming in a light sauce. They prodded the food with forks, remembering the foot-long hot dogs and loaded nachos they had eaten in between games, when waiters would carelessly restock drinks as the tastes pierced through with salt, spice, and fulfillment. Because of the difference, their homecoming supper turned into an unexpected comedic performance of grievances and dramatic sighs.
Because these are the same people who said our food is nothing but chemicals and, you don't need to season your food for it to taste good.
That sucked them.
Nothing brings me more joy than seeing Europeans, the people who talk shit about our food and saying it's chemicals, it's fake, and they don't need to season their food, come to America and eat the worst of our food and rant and rave about it.
What's your favorite food you've tried here in the U.S.?
Long John Silver's.
This has to be my favorite trend ever on TikTok. Literally all these Europeans coming to America for the first time and trying American food. We all know that the World Cup is here in America, so a lot of people from different countries are visiting, and I literally love every single food review that they do.
A man who has seen multiple games in big American cities began shaking his head as he chopped into a small piece of chicken that cost more than a whole combo meal back home in the United States. He recalled eating a forearm-sized steak, an infinite supply of warm, buttery bread rolls, and a topped baked potato after a game in Texas. At home, the vegetables were well organized and barely filled half the dish, but they tasted like they had been steam-cooked into submission. The company started sharing stories about their gastronomic adventures in America as their European meal lay there looking gloomy and costly in contrast. They remembered restaurants where the meat came apart after hours of slow cooking and sides were served in portions big enough to feed a family. European staples that formerly characterized comfort appeared restrained and almost bashful, in contrast to meats that were difficult to find on the plate and sauces that whispered rather than yelled. The pricing revealed an even harsher narrative because a family-style platter in America often cost less than one main course here, especially after currency conversion and those sneaky European add-on fees for bread or water that nobody asked for but everyone paid for.
Whoa, I know you're from where you're from.
We're foreign. What we don't know what we're doing.
Stop with the knife.
No, you don't need a knife?
No, you pull it apart with your hand. And listen, hold up. And you take your fingers and you lift that up and you eat it.
Seeing all the British people and Europeans rant and rave over American fast food and just food in America is wild to me. But that's one of the best things about this World Cup is seeing people live your country through their eyes.
Oh, dang. From Sweden, Elsa said it was an out-of-body experience trying the Golden Corral restaurant between out-drinking Americans in Boston, that's Scottish fans, by the way, and now experiencing the wonders of true American cuisine.
Those who had stayed in Europe listened with growing amusement and mild irritation as the tourists told their horrific stories. The returning fans talked about how their bodies had quickly adapted to American eating habits and now revolted against smaller meals. They remembered all-you-can-eat buffets near their hotels, where they had stuffed plates full of wings, ribs, and mac and cheese after long days of cheering in the heat. They made a joke about needing a magnifying glass to see the protein on their plates. The conversation naturally turned into increasingly inflated comparisons with each round of drinks, which came in glasses so small that refills became a frequent and expensive necessity. Rather, you'll receive a dry bun, a flat patty, and one gloomy pickle slice for personality. The dilemma was exacerbated by the fact that that unimpressive creation was almost as costly as a sit-down lunch with appetizers and dessert across the Atlantic. His friends back home tried to preserve local cuisine by emphasizing its freshness and history. The tourists, however, replied with stories of farm-to-table American eateries that delivered equally fresh cuisine in portions that genuinely satisfied an adult after a long day of walking through stadiums.
The gelato here does not compare to a really good ice cream back. Yeah, I will give them this. The pizza's great, but you know what? I've had better pizza in the States. And they don't know how to do steak. You can't do steak here. There's very little protein. You go around everywhere.
Europeans are about to find out why America has the highest rate of obesity among developed nations in the world.
Everything is so big. The food is great here, especially Texas barbecue.
Just sounds brilliant. I'm so excited watching these Europeans eat American food. It is so good because they act like they haven't had food before. Even though I know they didn't, because the food they eating is just, I don't know, they just eating. They eat like, dare I say.
Returning home was more challenging because the city changes during the World Cup had exposed them to even more variety. In one southern state, they discovered soy and delicious fried chicken that ruined their lives. Served with biscuits that melted in their lips and gravy that would make a statue scream with joy. The schnitzel or fish and chips that awaited them in Europe appeared to be pale replicas, with coatings that lacked crunch and sides that arrived in delicate scoops rather than large piles. The snark flowed easily as they pointed out how European menus openly advertised originality while charging exorbitant rates for what, in their newly Americanized sensibilities, amounted to exquisite hunger. Given the recollections, his contemporary European dessert looked like a cruel joke. A tiny scoop of sorbet gorgeously dusted with mint leaves and priced as if it contained gold particles. The whole table erupted in laughter when someone realized that the cost of one pricey European coffee could have bought 3 enormous American ones with free refills and a croissant on the side. As they began to compare every detail, such as plate real estate and seasoning levels, dinner turned into an extended roasting of their own culinary heritage.
Lemon cake. Oh. Do you know what that's made with? What? Love.
Yeah.
Made with love.
Never pie.
Try some, yeah. Wow. Mate. America, we love you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Sweet home Alabama.
My favorite food in the United States, buffalo wings. I love it.
American food is fucking delicious because of multiculturalism. I'm watching all of these Europeans here for the World Cup lose their minds over barbecue, hot chicken, Tex-Mex, biscuits and gravy. But these foods are the direct byproduct of Black American culinary tradition, Mexican American cuisine, Southern Appalachian influence, and
The event revealed humorous cultural differences that the fans were not aware of before their travel to the US. They had been brought up to think that European food was the best. But the sheer riches and significance of the States had changed their perspective in ways that made home appear strangely lacking. One woman described her first trip to the grocery store back home after weeks of shopping at American stores brimming with massive goods and many options. Looking at the humble European boxes, she was truly sticker-shocked by the price per unit, especially because she remembered buying snacks for the stadium that cost less than a single upscale chocolate bar here. The group nodded as they attacked their little salads, which required multiple orders to be nearly as gratifying as a single American side dish. They ridiculed the notion of creating a support group for returning World Cup fans who were suffering from portion withdrawal, complete with gatherings where attendees would upload photos of massive American meals and cry into their expensive espressos.
The love that I have for American food. Oh. I have named American food Madame because le relation long distance that I will have with Madame.
Oh, the best catfish ever. We can't get that in Sweden.
I love Arby's. Roast beef sandwiches, which are phenomenal.
Long John Silver's. The atmosphere, the food. Panda Express. The orange chicken is really good.
Can't get that in Sweden.
No.
Burger King. We don't get Burger King in Ireland.
USA food or UK food? What? USA food? Are you crazy? Or would? What? Is it like that? Yeah.
Duh.
Oh, so I've not been to US still.
The UK is grey and black and white, bro. The US is like sunshine.
Yeah, sunny.
But then there's different areas like.
The irony was exacerbated by the fact that these same Europeans had mocked American food before the trip, calling it ostentatious and greasy. They had seen it firsthand during the rigorous days of walking, cheering, and late nights throughout the tournament, and now they were craving that excess. The first dinner back showed that their tastes had temporarily shifted toward bolder characteristics and larger servings that reflected the lively American atmosphere they had encountered. For instance, complaints over European cuisines, which had delighted them but now appeared small and inadequate compared to towering towers of pancakes drenched in syrup with bacon on the side at a fraction of the price, became a battleground during breakfast. The topic of specific World Cup scenarios when eating enhanced the whole experience came up. While tailgating with friends from other countries and consuming enormous plates of wings and nachos, they remembered connecting over games on big screens. These enormous plates had cost more than a single round of European tapas, which barely sated their hunger.
Europeans love to say American food is terrible. And then they come here and eat like they're preparing for winter. Barbecue, brisket, burgers, wings, pancakes, waffles, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Texas Roadhouse.
We all know by now that I think that British food is the top 3 worst cuisines in the world. Even with that knowledge, seeing all of the Brits in America enjoying food and ranting and raving about stuff that we don't really eat is blowing my mind.
Does no one else find it ironic that the food that these Europeans are just losing their minds over is just cheap imitation cultural food that they've been calling uncivilized for centuries? Because that's why American food is so good. It's the result of black and brown culture.
The fans admitted, with cynical smiles, that they had been spoiled by American hospitality and dining venues, where servers frequently checked on tables and offered free sweets or upgrades to please customers. At home, the service appeared efficient but cold, with invoices arriving quickly and no pleasant surprises to mitigate the impact of high prices for small quantities. Both in restaurants and in everyday dining situations, the shock was felt. One admirer described going to his mother's house anticipating a huge welcome home feast, but instead receiving finely cooked food in portions designed for delicate tastes. In contrast to a man who had spent weeks eating like an athlete in training. He cherished his family, but he couldn't stop picturing how much more could have been made with the same ingredients in an American kitchen, where there was always plenty to begin with and leftovers were transformed into delicious meals the next day. Someone brought up breakfast tacos, the size of little babies from food carts situated near stadiums, filled with cheese, eggs, and meats that inspired entire mornings of exploration. Further rounds of derisive comments about how Americans thrived on joyful pleasures while locals managed to survive on such tasteful constraints were provoked by the European equivalent, a straightforward omelette with a side salad.
And the guy was like, no, it's already been paid for. They went for a beer this morning. Went up to pay for it. A lady already paid the beer for her. That is friendship.
We're hearing a lot of that.
Yeah, I was in a 7-Eleven there, and the police, they were buying like people.
Loving seeing you guys enjoy the food, but you guys gotta take it easy. You're gonna go back to Europe, the UK, France, Italy, Germany with hypertension, high blood pressure, and gout. Bro, they're eating crap.
If your timeline is just like mine, you're getting inundated with a bunch of Euros and foreigners coming to the World Cup and getting their minds blown with not only U.S. cuisine, but the fact that they're getting dropped off in other places other than New York and Los Angeles. They're getting hometown hospitality, Southern hospitality.
The discussion took a lighthearted turn toward education as they investigated why the differences felt so noticeable. American food benefited from immigrant influences during the World Cup, creating bold combos and large amounts meant for people on the run. Display and quality were highly valued in European customs. However, after weeks of the alternate approach, the supporters struggled to accept the lesser size without feeling financially and physically devalued. They ridiculed themselves for momentarily embracing supersized culture, admitting that the shock of returning revealed more about their adaptability than any objective superiority of one dish over another. However, the jokes persisted because the obvious contrast hit a deep chord and provided plenty of material for endless banter. Days later, the enthusiasts continued to email each other messages about American ideals that were both wistful and darkly hilarious, coupled with photos of subpar meals. On the other side of the world, the same amount of money could be used to buy a foot-long sub with an endless number of toppings, according to a post that featured a picture of a gloomy-looking sandwich that cost €8. What had seemed perfect and well-balanced before the trip suddenly seemed insufficient after being exposed to various standards during the excitement of the World Cup. The supporters eventually returned to European standards because habit and custom are strongly embedded. At get-togethers, however, they continued to relate stories about American food with the same nostalgic affection and cynical edge. Those first shocking lunches back home after a long day of cheering on national teams became famous among their friends, becoming the kind of tale that quietly challenged assumptions about which side of the Atlantic actually knew how to feed people properly and grew funnier with each recounting.
Many of you reached out after my last video that I had to say this one more time. The media has been lying to you about America, and the World Cup just proved it. For years, European and Canadians have been fed the same narrative. America.
Everything here is so good. Les burgers, les hot dogs, les barbecue, le chick-fil-A, le crumble, everything tastes so good.
American food is what happens when you let the whole world cook, because every wave of immigration has contributed different spices, different dishes, different techniques that then got remixed and Americanized. And if you want to protect what makes American food great, you should also protect the communities that create it.
In the end, the European fans brought with them a respect for local traditions and a renewed appreciation for plenty, making future trips to America even more anticipated. They continued to enjoy local specialties with a new perspective. However, they continued to make jokes about that first disappointing lunch that exposed the hilarious gap between their expectations and reality. Even after weeks of living large over the pond, the experience improved their vacation memories and showed that sometimes the worst cultural shocks happen right when you think you are safely back where you belong. As the weeks turned into months, the fans kept daydreaming about the massive American quantities and potent flavors that had spoiled them during the World Cup. The question hung in the air like a mystery. Would they ever readjust completely? Or had that first disappointing lunch back home permanently changed their expectations? One thing remained certain. The next time they returned from America, the shock would be even greater, and they would quietly wait to grumble about it all over again while secretly longing for every big bite they had left behind. Their newly educated minds would always feel that the European table was a bit too small for comfort and far too expensive, even though it looked smart.